Which camera is better for you? The Reveal Pro 3.0 or the Reveal X 3.0? Hopefully this video is going to help you figure it out. And keep in mind, while you're watching this video, if there's anything that you see that you like, check the comments and the description, because I'm going to put Amazon links in there for you so you can click on it and go buy all of your own stuff. So let's take a closer look at these cameras and find out the similarities and differences. Well, the new Reveal 3.0s are out. I've got a Pro here and I've got an X here. Now, they look pretty much the same, but there are definitely some distinct differences between these two cameras, and that's why I decided to make this video. I want to take a couple minutes to point out the similarities and also differences in these cameras, and may help you decide which camera you want to buy. And remember, if you like what you see, anything we talk about in this video, check the comments and also the description, because I'm going to put Amazon links in there, and that's how I make a little bit of money to help create content for you guys. When you click on that link and you buy one of these cameras, I get trust me, it's a small commission, but I get a commission from Amazon, and it helps me purchase more products and review them for you. So let's start off with these cameras and let's talk about the similarities in these cameras, okay? Again, I have the Pro right here and the X right here. These are the 3.0 models. They just came out this year in 2024. And as you can see from the front of them, they are almost identical. The only difference that I notice in the front is that the cover on the LEDs is a little bit different on the Reveal X than it is on the Reveal Pro. Notwithstanding that difference right now, let's keep talking about some of the similarities. Both cameras have the camera right in the front, like most trail cameras do. Above it is the Fresnel lens, which if you watch some of the groups, woodpeckers seem to love these things and they poke holes in them all the time. You have the covers on the left and right, which are where your LEDs are. If you look on the side of the camera, it's got a little, I love this feature on these cameras for storing. It's got a little holder here. The antenna folds down and it clips into that little holder. So that way, when you store it, you don't have to worry about spinning the antenna around. And then the antenna flips back up again. Hopefully, it'll make these antennas a little bit more bear-proof than what they are, because being up here in the Northeast, I have issues with bears sometimes. The back of the camera looks the same. Again, you've got these little ridges all over the back here. So if you're using the mounting straps, which go through this hole, these little slots, that helps hold that camera onto the tree and keep it from moving around. If you're not using the straps and you're using something like the HME trail camera holder, which is what trail camera mount, which is what I use a lot of times, there are 2 1/4x20 mounting holes in here that you can screw this camera onto the threaded end of it and mount it on the tree. One of the changes they made in this that I really like is the bottom one. It goes straight through. I don't know if you could see that. It's not captive anymore, so you can screw it in a little bit farther. There is also on the side of both of these cameras, you can see a little bit of a hole going through there. So if you want to put a cable lock on this camera to lock it to your tree, you can do that. And then they both have a little latch on the bottom to open up the front face, and you have an eject button inside, and it will pop. Well, it didn't pop out that far, of course, but you can pop out your battery tray. Both of these cameras have the little hole in the bottom here, the battery tray. Let me see if I can open it. I don't have much fingernails, but in the bottom there, that opens up, and that's where you can plug in your external power source. So both cameras will use the same amount of batteries. There's 12 AA's, or you can use a rechargeable lithium-ion battery pack to power both these cameras. It's the same battery pack. Or you can use some sort of external power source, like the Tactacam solar panel, or a HME solar battery box, or the solar panel from Herd 360. There are all different ways to power these cameras, and all 3 ways work with both cameras. Both cameras also have something new this year where there's no more SIM cards. So you don't have to pick a Verizon or an AT&T network. The SIM card is internal in the camera, and all you've got to do is power the camera on, and it will automatically search for the best cell phone signal that you can get in the area where you are, which is kind of nice. There is another feature they made with these two cameras too. You do not need a SD card. Now, there is a slot. Now, they changed it to the opposite side in this camera. It's on the left-hand side over here. You can put up to a 32 gigabyte SD card in there. And remember, it needs to be a Class 10 U3 video card, 32 gigabytes or less. And you can put it in there, or you can use the internal memory in the camera. Both cameras have an 8 gigabyte internal memory in them, so you do not need the SD cards anymore. That is one of the things I really like that they did with these cameras. However, I wish they would have gone a little bit bigger than 8 gigabytes. I mean, 8 gig is a lot of data, but I wish they would have gone bigger. As far as the operation of the camera and the quality of the pictures, both cameras have the same quality. They have 4K pictures. Their video is shot in Ultra HD. The trigger speed is advertised as a sub 1/2 second trigger speed. The testing I've done with these cameras compared to the second generation cameras shows me when I walk past the camera, these will trigger slightly faster than the older models. So that's always a good thing, having a faster trigger speed. And that is probably about where the similarities end on both of these cameras. So now we're going to talk about some of the differences in them. To start off with, I'm going to show you the Reveal X 3.0. Now, this camera is very, very simple, easy to use, and the thing is pretty much bulletproof. When you open the door in the front, what you see there is you're going to see a one switch. It says off, setup, and on, and then there is a test button, and then you have your status lights across the top. Both cameras have the test button. Both cameras have the status lights across the top. But this one is just so much easier, where you just turn it into setup. Once it goes through its setup and you are ensured that it has a signal, hit the test button. It's going to send the test picture to you. Flip it to on, close the door, and you're done. You're good to go. That's all you've got to do. This camera also has what they call a low glow technology in the LEDs. So at night, when the camera goes off, you get a faint red glow underneath here. I've used no glow and low glow technology before on all different cameras, and I don't see a difference. It doesn't seem to spook the animals or anything to me, but that is something that people look out for. So this camera has the low glow technology, and surprisingly, the X 3.0 has a little bit longer trigger distance than the Pro does. It's advertised at 96 feet rather than 80 feet on the Pro. Both of my cameras, though, and what I've noticed with my Tacticams is that they will trigger out farther than 80 or 90 feet if you have them set up correctly. If you have them set up correctly and aimed properly, you might get a little bit more distance on your trigger speed. So that is your X 3.0. Now let's take a look at the Pro 3.0. When you open up the Pro 3.0 in the front, you're going to notice it's a lot different than the X 3.0. It's, I'm going to say, a little bit more complicated, but it is also easy to use. So you're going to see, oh, and I was wrong. This doesn't have status lights in the top. I thought it did. I was mistaken. There are no status lights in this camera. When you hit the power button to turn it on, you're going to see everything come up on this little LED screen. The LED screen is a great tool. One, if you want to just look at pictures while you're in the woods. Two, for aiming the camera when you are setting it up. With the X, you can connect it to your phone via Wi-Fi and you can aim it. Or you can do it with the Pro right here on the screen. Also, you can change the settings on here and adjust anything you want in the camera with this little screen and your up and down, left and right buttons. So it takes a little bit more getting used to learn how to operate this camera. However, it has a little bit more features in it that you can use when you're in the woods. Now, the last difference that I want to talk about between these cameras is the price. The X 3.0, you can find it on Amazon for about $119, whereas the Pro 3.0s are running, I think, $140, somewhere in there, give or take a couple bucks. So it's about $20 to $30 more expensive than the X. Both cameras are fantastic cameras. Both cameras work great, and I run a mix of both the Pro and the X's in my 2.0s and now the 3.0s. And I have not had a problem with either camera. You just need to decide if it's worth the extra couple bucks and the features are something that you're going to use when you're using your cameras. So that about covers all the similarities and differences that I wanted to talk about in these cameras. Remember, if you like these cameras or anything else I showed you in this video, check the links in the comments in the description so you'll be able to find them and you can buy your own. Thank you for watching. Thanks for coming along. I hope you guys have a great hunting season this year and get some great pictures on your cameras. I wish you nothing but tight lines and short blood trails, and I'll see you on the next video.